For years, I believed everything in life was a competition. At work, I compared myself to colleagues. In dating, every guy felt like a threat. And even during board games, I didn't just want to play, I needed to win. And sure, sometimes it worked. I got a job, I had a girlfriend, I won a few games. But here's the strange part. Every time I won, I didn't feel happy. I felt anxious, afraid of losing what I had, constantly comparing myself to others. So instead of just enjoying my life, I started guarding it. Status, attention, validation, like it could be gone at every moment. And ironically, that's then exactly what happened. Because anything you hold too tight eventually wants to escape. Until I realized something uncomfortable. What if not everyone is a competition? What if more than one person can actually win? And what if the people I called competitor were actually the ones I could learn from most? It was the moment I realized that I was constantly fighting others for silver instead of jointly aiming for gold. Hi, I'm Tom and welcome to the Dopamine Factory, where today we're deep diving into the topic of scarcity thinking and why we see others so quickly as a competitor, a mindset that keeps us anxious and stuck. And later in this video, we also make this practical by introducing a simple matrix, so make sure to stick around. And if you want to have more of this content, check out also these videos. So, why do we get triggered by competition so easily, even when there's no real reason for it? For most of human history, scarcity was real. If someone else had more food, more status, or more protection, you genuinely had less. So our brains evolved to constantly scan who is ahead of me, who is behind me, who is a threat. Because that's the instinct that kept us alive. But here's the problem. We are still running that ancient survival software in a modern, abundant world. That's why you might instantly feel competition when you're looking for a job, or date with a girl, or when someone else gets attention than you. Ooh. Psychology calls this zero-sum thinking. If you win, I lose. But most of the time today, that's simply not true. I mean, half of the world has the odd agenda. Almost everyone works, and almost every skill can be learned. There's truly also something for you. So before you freak out by competition, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this really my only shot? Have you ever noticed how the biggest brands are all located right next to each other? You see Gucci, you see Prada, you see IKEA, you see Home Depot. Similar products, same customers, same market, all clustered together. And that's not an accident, because they all understand that you need to play a two-layer game. First, they jointly create a destination, they attract people, they build demand, and only once they got that demand, they compete. And once you understand this, you see it everywhere. The best comedians, they are not enemies, they are friends, as everyone wants to have a better show. Tech companies, they are not just isolated, they collaborate, as they need each other to grow. What all these guys understand is that you should build the lake first, before you can fish, which is how most successful companies work. So why would we then fight the guy at work when you can actually team up with him? Or why would we resent the guy who got the girl instead of learning from him? As the person who we are calling our biggest competitor is often holding the key to our growth. Let's analyze this in more detail. In any competitive environment, work, dating, content, life, at least two things matter. Performance, how good are you? And demand, do people actually care? If you're not very good and there's no demand, you're in the wasteland. Nobody really cares. Like competing with a coworker for a role that will disappear anyway. If you are very good, but there's no demand, you have an empty victory. You're winning a game no one is watching. Like having the perfect CV for a job that doesn't exist. If there is demand, but you're not very good yet, you're at the starting line. This is where growth begins. Like dating seriously but feeling awkward, or posting content and realizing your first work isn't that great. If you are good and there is demand, you're at the sweet spot. As you're creating value in a market people already want. Like making content people are already looking for. And let's be real, competition is rarely the real enemy. Because if there's no demand, get relevant. If there is demand, dare to learn. Where in the matrix do you fit? Now, how do you stop competing against people and start growing with them? I follow 3 simple rules. Rule number 1, move towards what is triggering you. If someone makes you jealous and insecure, that's rarely random. It usually means that they are doing something you want too. So instead of pulling away, move closer. Ask questions, watch their patterns, study what they do consistently. Because envy is often just unrecognized admiration. Rule number 2, prioritize growth over status. A scarcity mindset says, I can't afford to lose what I have. A growth mindset says, I can rebuild this if I lose it. The difference between those two is your competence. So the more skills you build, the less scary outcomes become, as you can stop clinging to the result and start trusting the process. And the rule number 3, compete on quality, not position. Scarcity thinking really focuses on rank. Who is ahead, who is winning. Growth thinking focuses on craft. How good is the work? How much value is being created? A rank is really fragile, as you can quickly lose it. Quality, however, compounds. So stop trying to be someone and be someone that builds. Because people who trust themselves don't need to push others down. It's the moment you stop fighting and truly start growing, as that's the place where real confidence lives. So let me now ask you, where in your life are you still fighting people while secretly knowing that you can still learn a lot? I would love to hear it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, as it's the best way to make the channel grow and gives me a little spike of dopamine today. Thank you again for watching, and I love to see you in the next one. Much love, Tom.